Hey everyone, it's Jessie checking in from Vanoise. It's Saturday morning and there's a bright, slightly crisp feel around the village after yesterday's busy changeover build-up. You can sense it's one of those full-on resort weekends with the roads buzzing, but the slopes should be calm as it's changeover day for most places in town. It was a clear and steadily cooling night here in town. Temperatures dropped from around -4 degrees Celsius in the early evening, down to a low of -9 degrees Celsius by sunrise, so a proper cold one. There was no precipitation overnight, and winds stayed very light, generally between 2 and 6 kilometres per hour, with occasional gusts up to around 14 kilometres per hour. So calm overall, just crisp and frosty as we head into the morning. Around town at 1,850 metres, it's mostly cloudy this morning, but we'll see brighter spells pushing through, and overall, it shapes up to be a fairly sunny day. Temperatures will top out at 0 degrees Celsius. Winds stay light at 7 to 12 kilometres per hour, turning from west to northwest, though gusts could reach up to 58 kilometres per hour at times. Up on Bellevarde summit, it's colder, with highs around -5 degrees Celsius. Expect a mix of sun and cloud, with the chance of a light snow shower later on. Winds are moderate from the northwest at around 20 to 29 kilometres per hour, with gusts up to 61 kilometres per hour, so it'll feel noticeably more exposed on the ridges. For a slightly different angle on conditions, we've got the weekly snow report from TDC's Steve Angus. Steve is out on the slopes every single day and really knows his stuff. The report was filmed on Thursday, just so you've got that in mind. And if you fancy picking his brains in person, you can always book a lesson with him through TDC.
Hi folks, so welcome to a weekly snow report for myself, Steve Angus, here in beautiful Vanoise, where we have had so much snow the last week. 3 or 4 massive storms have moved through, depositing around about 2 metres of this incredible amounts of snow out there. It has been accompanied by quite a lot of wind, I have to say, but the good news is that things are starting to calm down a little bit. The outlook for the next week, well, I think we're going to have 4 or 5 days, lucky you, of sunshine coming our way if you're coming out next week, but that might be followed up by more snow coming our way in the form of another snowstorm. So these February conditions are shaping up to be incredible, that is for sure. Now, as I said, the avalanche danger with all this snow has been elevated an awful lot. And that has meant that you've got to be very, very safe where you're going out there. But there's been some incredible snow, that is for sure. The piste have been in absolutely incredible condition, but it's taken them a while, obviously, to do some avalanche clearance. But for those of you coming out here next week, then the good news is that virtually everything should be cleared and ready to enjoy, that is for sure. The resort's obviously very, very busy at the moment, being school holidays, and I think next week is going to continue in that vein. So please stay safe out there. The temperatures have been around about where they should be for this time of year, but I think next week, when the sun's out, it will feel a little bit warmer than it has been. So make sure you get your sun cream packed in your bags, and make sure you put some thermals in there too, because if this snowstorm comes in yet again, producing more snow on top of the 2 meters of snow we've had the last week, then things are going to be pretty juicy out there once again. So thanks for tuning in for another weekly snow report for myself, Steve Angus, here in Vanoise. I look forward to be back next week. Stay safe, keep smiling, and bye-bye for now.
Now, today is officially one of those red weekends for arrivals and departures. Parisian school holidays are starting just as the UK holidays wrap up, which basically creates the perfect traffic storm. Expect delays coming in and heading out. If you've got flexibility, Sunday will be a much calmer travel day. Over at the Blue Note this weekend, the Six Nations Rugby Cinema is back. On Saturday at 3:10, it's England versus Ireland. Then at 20 to 6, Wales versus Scotland. Sunday at 4:10, it's France versus Italy. They're also showing Premier League football on Saturday. Aston Villa versus Leeds at 4 o'clock. West Ham versus Bournemouth at 6:30, and Manchester City versus Newcastle at 9. You'll likely find a similar lineup at Le Hibou and probably the Black Sheep too, though we haven't had direct confirmation from them yet. Now for the avalanche update. This is a translated summary of the official Bulletin d'estimation du risque d'avalanche issued by Météo France for the Vanoise massif, valid for Saturday, the 21st of February. Please make sure you check the full official report using the link in the description before heading off piste. Above 2,000 metres, the avalanche risk is rated strong, which is level 4 out of 5. Below that, it is marked level 3. The snowpack is described as very poorly stabilised, with numerous wind slabs that are still highly reactive. These slabs are present on all aspects, mainly above 2,000 to 2,200 metres, and can produce medium to large avalanches if triggered by a skier. In some colder north, east and west-facing slopes and even high south-facing terrain, deeper weak layers remain buried and could produce larger size 3 avalanches if they fail. With the return of sunshine and a freezing level rising towards around 2,000 metres this afternoon, many natural avalanches are also expected. Below roughly 1,800 to 2,300 metres, there is a risk of numerous glide avalanches and full-depth slides on steep grassy slopes. Some of these could affect mountain roads or high-altitude car parks. On south-facing slopes, moistening of the recent snow could also trigger small to medium avalanches during the warmest part of the day. In short, this is not a day to take lightly off-piste. The snow is deep and tempting, but still very unstable in many places. If you are heading outside the marked and open pistes, you need full equipment, solid experience, and extremely cautious terrain choices. And again, read the full official bulletin before making any decisions. If you're planning to explore the mountains this season, remember, off-piste skiing is dangerous. Always take a qualified guide and never go off-piste without a transceiver, shovel and probe. And most importantly, know how to use them and practice regularly. That's it for this Saturday morning update. If you're travelling today, give yourself extra time and plenty of patience. And if you spot any events, live music, or hidden gems around resort that we should mention, drop them in the comments. Have a brilliant day out there, and I'll see you tomorrow. If you're finding our updates useful, a like and a subscribe to the Val d'Isère online YouTube channel really helps to support what we do and reach more people who love the resort.
For further information, piste reports, and events sponsored by Val d'Isère Tourism, please go to radiovaldisere.com, the local radio station with the most up-to-date information. Forecast information provided by medioblue.com, infoclimat.fr and mediofrance.fr. Conditions in the Alps can change quickly, so always check before heading out. Webcam pictures courtesy of the official Val d'Isère website valdisere.com.